Kini pilay ng tindi. Suppose morning bay pied up by you me go away. Ating by you me stop na dahil long hitason. Balu sampai kisim si na oligo sampai nogat mani na oli no save ba oligo nani to me no save pani go away maski by me stop na mi dai long hitason. Rabaul town, you sweet more yet.
Many people thought the volcanic activity in Rabaul would have stopped by now. Well, it's 6 weeks since the Rabaul first erupted, and as you can see, it's still very much active, although at a very reduced rate. And from where I'm standing, it's only 2 kilometers to the volcano. This is Rapindik, the closest point to the volcano of the Rabaul town. In this edition, we'll take another look around Rabaul, and especially the care centers, and talk to the people about how they feel about being forced out of their homes. Many of them have come back to their homes in Rabaul and villages around the volcanoes to see what they can salvage after the volcanic eruptions. It was hard enough for these people to return and find their homes had disappeared. It was harder still for them to try and recover their belongings under tons of volcanic ash which had been thoroughly soaked by rainwater. This area at one end of the Rabaul airport runway was known as the Kerama compound at Rapindik, a settlement once occupied largely by the new generation of people whose parents originally came from the Gulf province.
Kami very sad long me play come na looking place from black. Kami bakarapol sem because kami have me play been brought up long and na me play come back looking this plap na me play sorry long looking this plap why kironi karma him.
Elvis Torre and his brothers and sisters had accompanied their parents back to Rapindik to see what they could salvage from under the ashes. They were transported there from the Bitapaka Care Center in Kokopo by the National Disaster and Emergency Services. The truck drivers would wait for them and take them back to Bitapaka.
Me play come long panimal something where me play been lusim na ground bin karma pem.
You pain sample finish?
Yes, sampla me play pani finish sampla me play na pani met.
You look at some had the pain big also.
Ay hard through alone and big black ground I karma pem. Or something no play.
Now also no sample something we play start with no you been run away.
All the time something been come up. Me play been no been expecting also by mountain para. Na me play been losing solo something na me play run away. Na time me play come back long time mountain para. All something me play no more find him. All stop inside the ground.
Ori Torre was one of the elders at the Rapindik settlement. Originally from Yokea village, he settled in Rabaul in 1961 and there raised his family. You looking blissfully na you think outside?
Me looking at me sorry no kutru lang. Because me sorry long animal all family below me, all in born long here. All with beginning, all in born long here Rapindik. And now there's something he come up now. Me play go stop long. Can't send along Peter back.
Na you play come Mickey Wanem now long place.
Me play come find him or something below me pala. Around him, karma him.
Something you find him, you right yet?
Something you play find him, you're right. Now, plenty stuff yet inside long ground.
Now, when I'm feeling blue, you know, some possible family blue you, but you play goal someone.
Me feel him all same by me play, illusion this place now. Me play go back long, cast and along Peter Park, behind by me play go back long Mosby.
Na, ino long ito mas sa volcano o para sa ni play kami play na operative.
Yes, volcano long para so ino trauma stone. Long simuk ta sol. Sam na mi play na pura tumas long. Kam na diki mo something.
From Rapindik, the mouth of the third volcano, the Rabaul is clearly visible. People in Rabaul say the most ash fallout which buried the airport, the suburb of Malay Town and the Rabaul township came from that volcano. The body of one of the 4 people who died in the volcanic disaster was found about here, near the Rabaul Golf Club, situated near the airport. The people who were digging at Rapindik say that he was an old man and one of them. Please have a good look at this.
I missed up one time, me play also in 20 years, please.
I'm blowing him up.
I'm long Kerema. Na nigri place plong em long sape ape.
Now, when I'm recently in Harry Apple, some people something.
Me play talking him, you know good pala long run, ni blow you know good. I think anything him also by Emi must die. Asan Emi sit down on chair, go house lot to blow me palaya. Emi sit down, you go too late now. Me play take off now, and now Emi lose.
The Vulcan volcano is in the background, as you can see. There's no more volcanic activity here. It's been quiet for the past several weeks. And where I'm standing was, or what used to be, the Tavana village. There's nothing much to see here of the Tavana village. The destruction from the volcano has destroyed everything. It's just a state of desolation. And here where I'm standing, somebody has been here and planted a few flowers. Someone told us this here, right here, used to be the church building at Tavana. It could be something else, given all this destruction, very hard to tell. Not far from Tavana, over the rise, was the village of Valour, where somewhere beneath the new layer of volcanic ash lie the grave of the former chairman of the East New Britain Provincial Disaster Committee when it was formed in 1983, the late Nason Polias. The people of Valour, Tavana, and tens of thousands of others are now in the care centers at the various locations around the Gazelle Peninsula. Since the army moved in to help the police enforce the orders under the Rabaul state of emergency, people have acknowledged the improvements in the service, in the care centers, and the delivery of supplies. The supply depot at the back of the War Museum at Ralum is the site of orderly maneuvers. The army has played a key role in ensuring that the care centers get their fair share of supplies and the police keeping peace and order. On his recent visit there, the controller of the Rabaul State of Emergency, General Rockus Lockenap, gave this brief.
At this stage, we've gone past the evacuation phase. We're now looking after the people in care centers. I believe we are now back to normal. The public service machinery in East New Britain is well and truly in operation. They've got a temporary headquarters up at Gunadidir. At this time, the provincial government should be brought back into play. They should be exercising their duties as elected representative of the people and get on with the job of running the lives of the people. I personally would recommend the lifting of the state of emergency, but it is not for me to decide. I think it's the national government to decide on that.
Just very quickly now, the welfare of people at the care centers, are you generally satisfied about the running of the care centers and people there?
Well, I'm generally pleased with it. I think the people are being fed properly. I've yet to see a hungry person in the care centers. We are now going through improving the some other little facilities in the care centers, like the water points, the drainage system in those water points, shower facilities for both the male and female population in the care centers. I'm talking about mainly the areas in urban care centers. Look at the Kokopo High School, the Kokopo Showground care centers. But I'm generally pleased with the care centers outside of the major two ones here in Kokopo.
After accompanying the general on a tour of the Kokopo Showground Care Center, the field commander, Colonel Lima Dotana, decided on some adjustments.
That's correct. The distribution of food has now been stabilized, and we need now to have a look at the care centers, re-site, if necessary, some of the houses. At this moment, as you can see here, it's too crowded and there's a high risk of fire. If there's a fire in one of the tents, it will just very quickly spread. A bit of wind. We should know the coconut leaves and the tarpaulin burns very, very quickly.
The colonel and the general and members of the East New Britain Disaster Committee met with the Prime Minister and briefed him on developments on the ground. The Prime Minister had gone there on his fourth on-the-spot visit.
To me, as I see it, it's an experience in Bougainville. It's man-made. Rabaul and Southern Highlands, they're nature. Out of all these, it's a very good cleansing exercise for all the people of this country. We have to learn to manage our own business, manage the finance of the country. We become a much more responsible society after all this cleansing. Bougainville will breed peace. Here will build tolerance. For looking after the finance of the country will breed responsibility. A combination of all these ingredients will make a better Papua New Guinea, better people.
There are now 24 main care centers and several sub-care centers in the Gazelle Peninsula, catering for over 70,000 people. At all the care centers, everybody from adult right down to the children, even babies, have to make the best of their own situation.
Morning sun, I've been blessed up Tassel one flap. Sidan Tassel was cooking a Sidan Tassel. No one round blamibla.
They are living it tough and depend on everything for their survival. Most of the tents and tarpaulins have been donated. The people get rations of rice and tinned fish every day. That is supplemented by donations of fresh food and vegetables. Firewood is also brought into the care centers. Families help themselves to the wood and prepare their own meals. Open fires are a common sight. Many suffer the misfortune of losing all their belongings in the volcanic disasters. Life in the care centers are even more foreign to them. One cannot appreciate the psychological torment these people suffer until they visit the care centers and spend time to talk to the people.
Big play something. Suppose me play one, mama, papa, me play ting, go back long. Play simple time, me play cry. Long kind life, long here.
Gamaliel Pidik comes from the Duke of York Islands off the coast of Kokopo in East New Britain. He and his family, his wife is from Tubuseria village in the Central Province, have been living at the Kokopo Showground Care Center from day one. We found Pidik and his wife outside their tent with other neighbors, under the hut they use for Sunday worship and other meetings. When I'm kind life now you prepare him long old care center. Suppose he had na high on someone.
Oh, live long inside long all care center, especially long me play long desalahat. Long Kokopo showground where me play staff. Had one because people is staff long narple place. Now long me play all kadistasol canvas. Na suppose rainy come up. Suppose rainy come up and me play sansan up tasol. Me play allow him all picking the tasol by sleep one time mama. Too long and big pleasant. Big pleasant he come up. Na I had my inside long canvas he had. Na I had long staff long house. So me play sit down about tasol or some. He go nambis pain in place was pain in place in malur. Me play staff. He had long kai, same kai, nearly most of the time, tin piece rice.
Start from Tambolo by coming up from group 1, group 2, group 3, 4, 5, now 6, 7, 8. Tambolo you may kill him for place blow you, kill him inside the house blow you, and come outside the field. Because tomorrow, every time blow too. Kill him place by look good, I blow you and me.
The people at the Kokopo Showground have themselves formed committees in a bid to manage their affairs and well-being in some form of order. This being the largest of the care centers, holding people from many different provinces and ethnic groups.
God people are talk to all people the same. Suppose government you know got money now long time rations. Now how about you feed the people?
Daniel Towai is the president of the Kombu community government. Like the Kerama people who went back to Rapindik, the controller let his people use a barge to transport them to their villages of Bai, Nodup and the rest to inspect their homes and recover any goods.
Now only long feeding people out some all animal or something. Not supposed to give me one ground block in garden. I think one player and play much long in. I think only seven, only 7 months. So when we play all man long walk.
Na mi bla kam stabe na osem ina ngut pla tomas ba mi bla stabe mi bla osem kan public osem mi bla na sil bla ngut pla house na no wat ngut pla osem siran bla mi bla kai ka bla mi bla ina ngut pla tomas osem ba mi bla go back la place bla mi bla no gat ya osem kan mi bla cook long outside na semol planti langa tu kampung na port na mi bla na mastro
En pubutu yo li Mr. Plan di atwag lawan pikinin nila.
Mi bla stap no gut plan mas plan kata na mi bla stap en pa mi bla province bla mi bla. Sambla bla civic, sambla bla morobe, sambla bla islands og da mix place na mi bla kampung le yan esta. So mi bla civic street.
A delegation from the East Sepik province was in Kokopo at the weekend to try to persuade Sepik people caught in the volcanic disasters in Rabaul to return to their home province. So we play story pinisa, we play second generation now, long kami stabla Rabaul. Also, we play ting lang ko la sampla po resettlement lois ni brin.
Ting belum play no kirapiat long ko settle long ani mahap belum play can settle. So at the moment all big man long play talk long belum play can go back long. Place me play kam long en long must be long kerama.
We play go back long Cass and long Peter Park. Behind by me play go back long Mosby.
Long play time to massive in Lucy Mosby.
Yeah, 1961.
We are trying to tell people not to move unnecessarily. You're talking about 2, 3, 4 generations of Papua New Guineans who are residents of East New Britain province. We want to say that we want to encourage them to voluntarily go out. We are not forcing them to go out. But the problem is if they go out on their own free will, and if they want to come back to East New Britain, I predict that they will have some problems. In that they may not be able to come back in. And we're bound to have problems at the wharfs, at the airport terminals.
Rabaul remains a ghost town, although some residents have started to clean up their houses and property, indicating their willingness to return, but no clearance have been given for people to do that. The Rabaul harbour is also still out of the safe zone. No decision can be made about immediate resettlement within the town boundaries and villages near the volcanoes because of the uncertainty about future volcanic eruptions. If anything, the calm warning is clear from the Rabaul. Unlike the Rabaul volcano next door, and the Vulcan, which has become a big tourist attraction after she piped out, the Rabaul may yet hold the key to any decision for future resettlement here. To get anywhere near all these mountains, you have to walk, and we've walked many of these mountains around Rabaul. The reason the people living in villages near the foot of the volcanoes cannot return to their homes is because of the danger of landslides. This is loose gravel, and when the rain comes, it will all wash down the hill. And as if in defiance, you can see this green amongst all this gray, really strange. The banana trees, green banana trees beginning to grow.
The Tolai people, they've gone through so many, sufferings in the past, different administrations. They've had the Germans, the Australians, the Japanese. So administratively, they've gone through all that. They've had the 37, they had the Second World War. So I knew all the time that they will come out of these ashes alive. Not only alive, but moving and thriving. So what I see today, of course, is there are a lot of damages, including the crops. But I think about 3 to 6 months from now, out of the ashes, they will be fertilizing the soil. And probably, I'm hopeful that they will have some of the most flourishing crops 6 months from now.
Bayumi, go away. Maski Yumi stop, na Yumi die.